Hi, this is Miss Maria again. I wanted to talk to you about the continuation of a particular topic I was talking about yesterday. Actually, I'm a little behind, so I'm trying to catch up with, with some of the YouTube shows that I wanted to do. So anyway, this topic, it was called Once Upon a Supernatural Theme, and we were talking about, being careful with our children, especially the toddlers and the little, infancy babies that were experiencing supernatural things and how to detect or what to look for. So this particular time, we're going to talk about the toddlers all the way up to the age of maybe 6 or 7. And a lot of the things that I share with you, like I said before, is because of a life experience that I have experienced or witnessed, or I was told. But when I'm told something and I wasn't there, I will let you know that I was told this. But if I experience it or I'm a witness that I seen it, then you can, if I say it's going to rain, you can put your buckets out, okay? So let's talk about the toddlers up to the age of maybe 6, maybe older. It depends on the maturity of the child. There was a child once upon a time, and I'm very secretive about people's lives, so sometimes I might not make sense, but I think that you will understand. You will comprehend what I'm saying. But once upon a time, there was this child, and her mother was at work, and so she was there with her, sister and brothers and her father and things like that. Her father happened to have had company, so the company distracted him from keeping an eye out on the children. And she was sort of like the in-between child. She wasn't the youngest, but she wasn't the oldest. And so she happened to have heard this voice, and the voice led her to believe that she had to go to the potty. So the potty was in the bathroom, because the mother, when she went to potty, she would take her to go to the potty. And ever since then, she always went to the potty on her own. I might be a little too, I might have her age a little older, I don't know, but it happened so long ago. I mean, this is back in the 70s, 80s, somewhere around. It had to be the 80s, 90s. But anyway, to the story, to the facts. She somehow was able to reach the doorknob, so she couldn't be 6. She somehow was able to reach the bathroom doorknob, and she went into the bathroom. And now listen to this. This voice spoke to her and said, "Lock the door. You're a young girl. You're a young lady, so lock the door so no one will walk up on you." And she seen the stool in the bathroom. Now, that's something that I really pay attention to when I go out and, do the job that I do. I pay attention to what's in the bathroom. And if there is a stool and you're using the stool for the child to wash up and brush his teeth and so forth and so personal care, personal hygiene, it's best to take the stool away and put it somewhere where they cannot reach it, because most children use that to do what they have to do, unaware that the evil spirit is the instigator. And so this young girl, little girl, locked the door. She found the stool. She climbed up on the stool like she always have done to brush her teeth and so forth and so on. And she put the stool away. And I don't quite remember if she went to the potty or not, but she got distracted with the toilet paper in the bathroom where she could reach it. And something told her, I keep saying something told her, this evil spirit spoke to her, and she, I'm ahead of myself. She was looking at the toilet paper. Now listen to this. This little girl knows nothing about supernatural things. She know nothing about the evil spirits. She know nothing. She did have some fear because she encountered some things as she grew up. So there was fear there. But this particular time, she went to the bathroom to, she went to the potty. Supposed to be going to the potty. And she was listening to what the spirit was saying to her. The toilet paper began to look like cotton candy. Now, this little girl is able to explain, I would say in detail, but not so much detail because she was little, but she knew that it was cotton candy, and she pointed to it and said, this is what was cotton candy. And she was able to explain what happened. She thought it was cotton candy, and the spirit said to her, eat it up. Go on and eat it. Enjoy yourself, because no one gonna know that you ate it. And you know your mom, she's not gonna allow you to eat the sweets, so you better go ahead on and eat it. She did. She ate it. People said, how could she not taste that it wasn't sweet? Let me tell you something. When a child, C-H-I-L-D, when a child is provoked to do something, they don't have that sense of smelling and tasting and anything. That spirit has covered them, where it could almost fool the very elect if it was possible. You understand me? So she began to eat the toilet paper, and it did, like she said, it tastes like it was cotton candy. Well, it got to a point where the toilet paper began to log in her throat, and she had no longer saliva to wash it down. And she began to panic. I mean, it's a lot of water in there. I don't know if that would have helped or not, but which I doubt it would have flushed it down. But she didn't know what to do. She panicked, and the spirit immediately left her. I hope that you guys are not going dark on me. Oh my God. But she began to immediately start panicking, kicking, and things of that nature. Let me see if this would happen. Okay. And when she began to kick, no one heard her because the music was blasting, the kids was outside playing, and the father was, out entertaining his friends, barbecuing and things like that. And just so happened, let me tell you how good God is. Just so happened, the spirit spoke to the father and to go and check on the children, which he did. And as he was on his way outdoors to check on his children that was playing in the front yard with the rest of the neighborhood children, he passed by the bathroom and heard a kicking. And he tried to open up the door. He banged on the door, tried to open up the door, but he heard this little human trying to gasp for air, was gasping for air. And so he bust down the door, which, I mean, you know, I would have too. He bust down the door and he found her up underneath the toilet. I mean, that's how frightened she was. And he immediately pulled her away from underneath the toilet and opened up her mouth and seeing toilet paper that was, you know, on her tongue. And he began to pull it out. And it was so much, I mean, he kept it. It was so much toilet paper until, I mean, if you would have poured water in her mouth, she still would have suffocated. So that's one of the incidents that I'm trying to get to tell you. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because the evil, wicked spirit is out all 4 feet and all. I mean, he's not caring. He never did. But he's more active now and more open now than has ever been, because these are the last days. And we're going to hear the last sentence of the last days, the last you know, actions, the last unforgettable events, the last of everything. This is the last days. And so it's even more so happening with children now. Children are losing their lives and so forth and so on. Then we have a child that were fascinated about a electrical card, and she was seeing what her parents would do when they ironed. She would see what her parents would do as far as plugging up things. And you know, if you watched Brewster's Place with Oprah Winfrey, then you pretty much could see what I'm talking about. These are the things that really actually be happening, and the spirit will talk to them and tell them, look at that. Look at that little roach. Look at, you know, put your hand in there. You know, one child, the electric car was plugged to the wall, and they had a long extension cord, and they used it for whatever reasons. And when they unplugged it, they left the extension cord plugged, and she picked it up and began to chew on it. So you know the history of that. We also have people that have pills and have alcohol that's hanging around. Kids see that you're doing it, and they will do it. And also, if they don't see you do it, the spirit will tell them how to do it. The evil spirit will tell them to pick up the pill. You know, we have candy that look like pills of multiple colors. Imagine when they see your little capsule pill that is multiple colors. Or imagine if they see a pill that look like M&Ms. You're going to put it in their mouth and chew it. You're not going to really know what's going on with the child until after the effect has set in. So we have children and toddlers that are, you know, involved in things like that and lose their lives. When they see you doing things and nothing ever happened to you, they would do the same, regardless of what it is. You know, if they see that you're running water in the bathtub, they're going to do the same. And I can't express enough about that. I have seen children where they actually drown in boiling hot water because they fill the tub up with water. I don't know where their parents were, but it's always happened. Things always happen when the parents not around. So we really got to focus on and pay carefully attention to our children. No matter if they walk, especially if they're walking, because they're going to see everything you do, and then they're going to follow you. Well, mom is okay, she did it. Dad is okay, he did it. Brother and sister, okay, they did it. So, you know, what's wrong with me? How come I can't do it? They're not thinking, and they don't comprehend why they cannot do it. This is why they have parents. So, also, you have those that drink, you know, they drinking liquid. You drink water. I know one that had left from the water to the fingernail polish. And she became very sick, and they rushed her to the hospital. Little did I would know that the doctors there had scarred the mother. I mean, they was totally upset with her. because she left a fingernail polish remover on the table, and the child was able to grab a stool and reach for it. In fact, there was one that climbed up on the sofa, and no one never, she just started walking. So how in the world are you going to be able to stretch your little leg over the sofa and climb up there? But let me tell you, the evil spirit will help them do it. Okay? This is when you can't explain what happened, but it happened. It don't just happen on its own. You get help. I've seen children that turn the stove on. And one particular young lady, she was left alone, and her mother went somewhere. I don't know where she was, because I was a little girl myself. My mom and I, we was walking to the grocery store, which was the neighborhood grocery store. I don't know, maybe to get me some ice cream or something. I don't remember. But I remember when she said, come on. She said, something telling me to go to the store now. So we went to the store, and the house that we passed by was like 4 houses away from us, and it was full of smoke. But nobody knew about it, because in those days, the windows and everything was totally sealed. I mean, they had some serious windows back in those days. And my mom and I was passing by, and she stopped. And she said, do you smell that? I'm a little girl, you know. It depends what you're talking about, because I smell, my mind is going to the store, so I'm smelling ice cream, I'm smelling my banana pudding, I'm smelling cake, I'm smelling candy, I'm smelling how to give my mom money to purchase me whatever I want at the store. So I'm like, smell? You know? I'm not thinking about the smoke. We used to fireplaces, so smell. And my mother being a very spiritual, she was more like a worker. She would heal people, if you will. So she said, you stay right here. We were standing on the sidewalk. She said, you stay right here. You better not move. Well, the reason why she said that to me, because like I said, I was nosy, curious. I mean, she going one way, I'm going to go to another, or I'm going to check out what she's doing. And so I stood, by the grace of God, I stood there. And my mom burst the door open, and the house was full of smoke. And it took her a while to come out. But when she came out with a young girl that had turned the stove on and didn't realize that the kitchen tower was next to the fire. And when she turned the stove on, it caught on fire, and she was totally scared about it, because she wasn't supposed to be around the stove anyway. But she turned on the stove. And so when she tried to put it out, tried to reach for the tower, the fire grabbed hold of her hair, and it burned her very badly. Had it not been for my mom, her life would have been gone, to tell you about it. I seen her, I met her when she came out the hospital. But, you know, unfortunately, she didn't stay around. Her parents up and left, because the whole entire city looked like was upset with them for leaving her there by herself, and, you know, so on and so forth. But my point is, what you do is what your children is going to do, especially if they left alone. Some plays with knives, some play with electric knives. I seen one fingers cut off because she was playing with the blender and put her hand in the blender, trying to stir the little stuff that's in there, trying to stir it up while the blender is moving around, motioning. And those things happen. Let me tell you, those things happen because the evil spirit attacks the youngest human beings at a very early age, if possible. They might not could comprehend, but isn't it awesome that they can follow instruction? Put your bench over here, step on top of the stool, put your finger in there. I mean, they understand that. You feel what I'm saying? Okay, now I had to write it down because I want to make sure that, you know, we got this thing going, and I won't hold you too long. Well, the Bible says that Satan goes to and fro seeking who he can devour. It doesn't say except children or except newborn babies or anything like. It doesn't say that. It says that he seek whomever he can devour. Anything, anybody, he'll seek. And if it's an opportunity, he's going to jump on it. It doesn't matter. He's going to jump on it. It is so important to have a connection with God. It's so important to pray and to pray daily over your children, over your household, over your husband, over your wife, over your enemies, whatever's in your life, you pray. Whatever has been in your life, you pray and thank him. Whatever is coming into your life, you pray and thank God that before it even happened. You understand? And that which you're not familiar with, you let him know. I'm not familiar with this, but I thank you anyway. I'm not familiar with it, but whatsoever happened, protect me. You ask him to do these things. He said, you ask not because you have not. You have not because you ask not. So you ask, you ask. And remember, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. So, foremost and most off, you have evil people. And these people, we entertain angels unaware. And a lot of angels aren't necessarily good angels. There are evil angels, and you find these angels will enter into people. I should say evil spirits enter into people, and they will do things. You hear it all over the place, how mothers are killing their children, putting them in the oven, sawing them up in pieces, tying them up and letting them starve to death. Personal experience, I had a friend, and my friend and I was just 7 years old. Her father owned a funeral parlor, a funeral home, and the mother didn't have to work. Sometimes she would do hair, and she did hair in her home. Back in those days, you could do those, when it was press and curl and stuff like that. She did hair in her home, and we were in Houston, whereas it's pretty close to Louisiana, and so we all knew each other from Louisiana, go way back from Louisiana, and her mother was a lesbian, and her mother's lover would come down every time the husband would leave to go to work. She would come down at the hours while he's at work. And even if he came home, he would think that's her best friend. And her mother's best friend came from Louisiana. And when she came, one day I went to visit her, my little friend, and we were standing outside talking. And so she said, come on, let's go and get some Kool-Aid. At that time, Kool-Aid was the thing in the black neighborhood. Let's go get some Kool-Aid. So we go in the house to get some Kool-Aid, so lemonade, that is. And they're laying there, the mother and her lover's laying there naked. And she was so embarrassed until, my friend was so embarrassed until, it looked like the spirit just zapped out of her. So I said, that's okay, we don't need any Kool-Aid, we could drink out the water faucet, which we used to. We chase each other with the water faucet, with the water hose. So she was leaving, we was leaving out the door, and her mother called us, and we went into the room. And it was like she didn't have any shame in her game. She was just laying there naked on the bed, and so was her lover. And she said to me, she said, you're not able to stay here today. We have things for her to do. I have things for her to do. I won't mention the girl's name. So you're going to have to come back and play with her some other time, and I will send her to your home to let you know when you could come back. Well, I kind of felt funny about that, and I ran home and told my mom. And about, when I told my mom looked kind of strange and said, oh, really? And I said, yeah, but that look on her face would let me know that she was listening. So a couple hours passed by, and the police followed my mother to the living room, and my mother wanted me to tell the police what was going on. By that time, another police had dispatched this police that was questioning me and said that the girl, which is my friend, had ran away and climbed the electrical pole, and was wondering if I could come and talk to her. So we ran, it wasn't too far from us, about, maybe a good, maybe a half a mile. And I went over there, and she was way up high on top of this post. How she climbed up there, I don't know. I think the evil spirit gave her the strength to climb, because we were just 7 years old, and both of us was afraid of heights. But she was way up there, at the tip, almost about to touch the electrical outlet. And I walked up there, and I talked to her, and I talked to her, and I talked to her, and she never responded. But I talked to her. She finally came down, and they put her in a mental institute. Not the mother, but her. They put her in a mental institute. My friend never, when she got out, she never was the same. She never responded the same. When I hugged her, she was empty. And a lot of people said, oh, she was possessed with the devil. I'm not going to entertain that, because I will go there. Okay, I will go there. Because this was the sweetest human being on the face of the earth that you would possibly could think of. Somebody being that sweet. How could that happen? But, life is life. So when I gave her a hug, it surprised me, because she was like a tinkling cymbal. She was empty. There wasn't nothing there. And I couldn't understand it, because it looked like her soul was gone. And she was on medication. Let me tell you this. Some medication will rob your soul. Trust me. And she was on medication to handle the situation that went on, to handle how her adopted mom, in fact, could do her like that. All I remember is also is that when I talked to her, she responded, but it was sort of like she knew me, but then again, she really didn't know me. I pulled away, because I felt like if she seen me, it would bring back the past. And so when I found out she was suicidal, I didn't too much bother about, going around her. I would check on her every now and then, especially when I go to school. I would check on her, because I had to pass by her house to go to school. So I would check on her and things like that. And we walk to school sometime, but I just want to share with you some of the things that does happen. Now, the last thing that I want to share with you is all this stuff might be affected to people for the rest of their lives. You have, you got to watch people. You have people that is into all kind of spiritualist things, where they like to take a bit of your children's hair, or put something in a diaper, something you can put close to your body. They like to do things to it, and they think it's funny. I can't comprehend, but they think things is funny. This is why I'm saying that there are evil people out there that is evil angels, or they just evil spirits in a human form. But they come to destroy, they come to kill, they come to, just devastate things in your life. And you're not knowing where it's coming from. This is why it's important to know the background of your babysitter. Know the background of people who's taking care of your loved one. Pay attention to, nowadays they have cameras, but let me tell you, don't let cameras fool you, because sometimes people will take a picture of your room and put it in front of the camera. You think you're looking at your room when they're doing their thing, and you sitting there looking at a picture. So it's very important that you are to pay close attention with your, your loved ones. Okay? and know that these things, you know, they put it in their bottles, they put evil stuff in their bottles, spells upon these children, and they don't know anything about spells. They do all kind of things to these children. And we're wondering what is wrong with our kids, or why our kids is acting like that. Besides extra Y chromosome. But you wonder why my child he wasn't acting like that a couple of years ago. How come it's so evil now? How come it's this and how come it's that? This is why. My people perish for the lack of knowledge. And the lack of knowledge also comes from lack of wisdom. You don't want to receive the wisdom. And you don't want to receive the wisdom, you're not going to receive the knowledge. If you don't receive the knowledge, you're not going to receive the wisdom. Okay? So the lack of knowledge is something that you have to, you know, before you have a child, study to see how these people doing it. There are doctors, there are lawyers, there especially doctors. Let me tell you a little bit about them. And I'm not trying to put my mouth on everybody, but there are some. There are doctors that believe in voodoos and believe in witchcraft and believe in all these things. I'm not saying as far as a religion thing. I'm saying as far as evil, the evil side. You're thinking that they're putting their hands on you because of this and that, and they're trying to test you and stuff. No, a lot of them is doing, and they praying and they laying hands. They're not putting their hands on you. They laying hands on you. And then you have those that have red pepper in their jacket, and they're doing things. And I'm not going there, but they do things. A lot of doctors do come from the background of, you know, spiritualists, just because they're doctors or dentists or whatever, neurologists, whatever, counselors, they have a background. So it's very important, especially right now today, to pay attention to what is going on. If you have any concern, if you have any type of stories you would like to share with me, please do so. Email me. In the meantime, I would like for you to like, share, and subscribe. All the negative comments will be blocked. Also, remember that prayer changes things and God changes people. Until the next time, blessed be upon thee and thy seed.